Hello, beautiful Cancer and Moon children, family, and welcome to July 2020 as we continue to roll through Cancer season. This is one of my favorite times of year. I just feel like I can breathe and be and feel the connection so well during this time of year. Of course, the first 12 days of this month, we're finishing up our Mercury retrograde, and then the last part of this month, we're doing the post-shadow of that. So this beautiful time for you to reconnect with who you are and who you want to be, right? And maybe it doesn't feel super fast all the time during the first couple weeks of this month, but it can also be a really nice time to reconnect with yourself. Now, this month is also really powerful. We start off with a bang this month because Saturn moves back to Capricorn on the 1st, and then July 5th, full moon and partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn happens as well. This is symbolically really important. We're closing out all this work we've been doing in Capricorn over the next few months, like truly closing out almost all of it. And this is our little return to it. However, we're not staying there, and we've really changed even since March when Saturn visited Aquarius. So that energy in Capricorn is obviously your opposing sign, and there's been a lot of pressure put here to kind of figure out how you want to connect, figure out how you want to be in relationship, figure out how you want to move through this world and connecting to others. So it's interesting to have a little return there. We also have Mercury going direct on the 12th and another new moon in your sign. Every year we get a couple of repeat moons, and this year you all have the repeat in Cancer, so you'll have one more new moon in your sign, so another chance to connect and feel that next layer of opening up. And then we move into Leo season on the 22nd, into your second house of love, money, self-value, abundance, connecting with all those really rich, good things. There's a lot of support here for you this month, as well as a little bit of a challenge to release and move forward. Now, the message that came through for you, beautiful souls, is that this is a month where you're bravely choosing the adventure. You're just going in there, and you're choosing it knowing that, the idea of home, the idea of identity, the idea of who you are in work or who you are in relationships has changed radically, and that you maybe don't feel like you know how to do it all yet, right? You don't know how to put your foot on the path every single second of every single day. You may feel a little bit like, I don't know how to do this. Page of Cups, love it. And yet, there's also this sense that it's just right. It's bigger than you, right? When we're really listening to our inner knowing and our inner knowing of who we are, we can feel like, our logical mind can feel like, I don't understand why you're doing this. You don't even know how it's going to work out. You don't even know if you're allowed to do it this way. And then your knowing self says, oh yeah, but this is exactly what it is. 4 of Cups, a little bit of that Mercury. 8 of Cups, yes, there's the adventure. All right, we're getting all the Cups energy. I love that. And yet it's like, yeah, this is something that's just coming out of me. It's flowing through me. I almost feel as though I'm not even choosing the steps are just moving through me, right? And that's when you're really listening to that. As Martha Beck says, following your own North Star. And there is this sense of adventure, this tingling sense of adventure in the air for you all. 2 of Swords. And there's some not knowing here, as I can see. There's some not really knowing how that's going to play out. And that may make you feel a little nervous, like, okay, I'm on this adventure, I'm choosing it. I know I can't go back to what home or identity was a few months ago even. Page of Swords, clarity. That's a big theme in July, clarity. Yeah, actually, it's a very strong message. The Star, love it. But you still feel, that you're going in the right direction. Yeah, you may not know all the details. You may not know the conclusion. Welcome to life. And 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so what's interesting as I look at these cards and as I think about the message that came through for me as I was looking at this, and I guess it kind of makes sense between both the Capricorn energy hitting at you at the beginning of the month, and also this Mercury retrograde happening in your sign. This is a time to kind of culminate and understand and feel like things come full circle, and to take a moment to just kind of let that sink in. And I think especially the first 12 days of the month, you're going to be feeling that until Mercury goes direct. Just letting it sink in who you've become, letting it sink in that you are on this new adventure and it doesn't look the same as it did even 3 months ago, right? And that maybe you have a little more uncertainty because you know that this is unfolding from you, and because you know that that sense of control that comes from keeping ourselves small and in the same shape is no longer there. So, because we start right off with Page of Cups. Great news coming in, right? Something very supportive of you coming in and helping you on your path. Now, this is a card of grace, of beauty, of offering up, right? Maybe you're feeling you are offering something up to the world. Maybe you feel you are receiving. You are receiving that love and support. You are receiving that intuitive guidance. You are receiving that wisdom that you're needing, and even that phone call or that loving advice and support that you're seeking. So, a very supportive card on your journey. It's almost an offering on your journey. A plate of cakes and tea before you set on your journey, and a nudge, a little nudge and a wink. You got this, right? There's this interesting thing happening here too with these two, 4 of Cups and 8 of Cups. Now, 4 of Cups is when we feel we can't, we kind of feel like we can't take steps, right? And we're feeling a little frustrated by that because we can feel that things are about to move. We can feel that we're about to go on adventure, but we can't see what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So we just have to sit here and let things culminate. Now, 4 of Cups is an important part of the process because it's actually funny when I look at these cards. It's like, here's the offering, here's the offering. You're getting an offering, right? You're getting an offering that's really kind and loving. And you're needing to sit still long enough to receive it in order to be prepared to go on this journey. Now, 8 of Cups, one of my favorite cards. I had to come to learn to love this card because it's about leaving behind something that in many ways is right for you, right? It like, you can write it down on paper why it works and why it would be crazy for you to walk away from it. And yet, you have to go on this journey, right? This is the past now. It's something you don't fit into anymore. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't always have to be a breakup or even leaving a job completely. It can be those things. It can also be, the affirmative aspect of this, saying yes to this adventure, saying yes to this road you are on. And, this is very watery moon work. This is intuitive work. This is emotional knowing work. So you are stepping into a big adventure that you can't see the full conclusion of, and you're just having to practice that deep trust, right? Which is a huge practice. And that's what it feels like when you start to trust your inner knowing more. Now, you have this 2 of Swords, which is also a sitting still and listening, along with this 4 of Cups. So this tells me that this is more of an internal experience than it is a literal, practical, logistical experience. This is something that's going on within you, going on during Mercury retrograde, going on during a new moon, going on during your season. And I think, as you start a new solar year, as we move through Cancer season, this is a beautiful time to let this kind of emotional, spiritual practice happen, where you review. 2 of Swords often holds us still long enough to really hear and listen before we start running around picking up every single thing that we think we're supposed to be doing. And the message that comes through here for me is quality over quantity. You're not being asked to do every single thing in the world. You're not being asked to pick up every single project and go on every single adventure and be every single person. There are specific things that you're getting invited into on this big adventure that you don't need to rush and you don't need to understand all at once. In fact, it's okay to sit and pay attention and listen. Because, and I think as we ease into the last week of Cancer season, as we ease into Leo season, you get a lot of clarity. Look at these beauties. Page of Swords and the Star. Now, this is that breakthrough. This is that messenger coming in. This is very air energy, both of these, which means it's literal communication. It's getting the answer you need. It's getting the phone call you need. It's getting that aha light bulb moment. Oh, I know how to solve this problem. It's getting that idea of like, ooh, this is what I'm going to create, or this is how I'm going to connect things, or this is how I'm going to move forward. So we have all this like watery, mysterious energy of sitting in the mystery, of sitting in the adventure, of sitting in the becoming of this other thing. And then we have this light bulb moment that brings you your wish as well. It brings you what you've been longing for as well. So yeah, this month slowly but surely starts to blossom and open up. I also think about this month, it's really interesting. Venus did her retrograde and that ended on June 25th. But there's a post-shadow phase that goes all the way until July 29th. And as that's been easing out for you, Venus has been doing work in your 12th house since April. And in your neighboring sign right ahead of you. And that is a powerful, deeply spiritual time. And as you come out of that, it's a time to also kind of feel like you're reopening almost like a flower to those new perspectives and those new ways of moving through the world. Now, Seven of Pentacles came up, another review card. I think it's really interesting how many of these pause and look around cards are here for you. It makes me think about how we think we need to constantly be moving on things and constantly be piling things onto our plates in order to feel like we're on the adventure, in order to feel like we're worthy of the adventure, in order to feel like we're actually trying hard enough to be on the adventure and to change and to be the person we're meant to be. But, you know, that's busy work a lot of times, right? We're just trying to make it feel like we have our docket full. And you are a cardinal sign, you are go-getters out there, you want to be on the case. I get that. But there's a lot of messaging here, and I find it really interesting of like, don't worry. You have time. You don't have to rush. This month is not about rushing. This month is about knowing. This month is about incorporating so that you know that you're allowed to be on this adventure. And it's also kind of an energetic, emotional experience of really committing, really choosing this adventure, this table that this adventure you're walking toward, this unknown landscape that you are going to be exploring in the coming months is coming up and out of you at this time. So there is just kind of this moment that we can take here this month for you all to really let it sink into your bones and feel like it's really, really there with you. And I think Cancerians, you can appreciate that. Culturally, we're often trained to get out of spaces like this, Seven of Pentacles and Two of Swords. We're kind of trained to be told that if we're sitting there allowing something to sink in, that we're wasting our time, that we're just being indecisive, that we don't want things badly enough, or that we're just unclear on who we are. But if you skip the step of letting things incorporate and you skip the step of really feeling through something, you never really get anywhere anyway. So I actually really like this. And I actually don't think this is a month of inaction for you whatsoever. But I do feel like you may feel as though you feel like you should be doing more in order to be on your adventure. But I'm telling you, you're already there. You're already on the road. There's just a lot of not knowing that comes with being on that path. And there's a lot of trusting that comes in. And there's a lot of like quiet, soft spaces where this information comes through. That'll get clearer and clearer for you. But I have this sneaking suspicion that you've got a lot of support here. Because you do. You have these messengers here that are very clear, very open, very direct about what it is that is meant for you and giving you what you need. You know, giving you the opportunities you need, giving you the opportunities and the openings that are right for you. I'm really excited for you, Cancerians, this month. I hope you have a beautiful July, a beautiful birthday, whether it was in June or July. I am going to be enjoying the season with you and incorporating right alongside you, being a Venus and Cancer person myself. This energy is very precious to me. I would love to see you over on Patreon, where we dive a lot deeper into all of these big transits that are going on and all this powerful energy we are working with. I would love to see you over there. We do it's such a beautiful community of people. It is pure gold over there. I would love to see you, and thank you to those of you who are already with me there, changing my life literally every day. You can also find me on my website and on Instagram at SarahVerba. All those goodies are right below us in the description box. And you can find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I will see you all in August for more Leo season and more unfolding and flowering and more of this unknown path that we are walking together.